And we are live. Welcome, everyone. My name is Niki Lopez of Niki Lopez Creative, and you're watching The Circle, where every Tuesday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm sharing stories from the creative community, activists, people doing great things in the world today. And today we have a very special guest and friend, David I. Muir. Thank you for joining us.
So, can I speak?
Yeah, I was just making sure there's some sound. So, okay, we're right in. David is the president of Island Syndicate, is also the chairman at Island Space, as well as a photo artist. So, welcome.
Niki, you're talking like you don't know me a long time. You're like reading titles. I'm all those things, but I think the most important thing to notice or to mention is that I'm an artist. All the rest of it is the titles don't mean a thing. It's I'm an artist, and I, as an artist, want to do things that mean something to me and hopefully inspire other people to do things that mean something to them. And all of the things that I do, everything, whatever we talk about tonight, has come from me wanting to express myself and hoping that what I am doing to express myself is inspiring others to do the same. That's really it. Everything else is like whatever. It's like, I may be doing 100 things, which it seems I'm doing all the time. But at the end of the day, it makes me happy. I'm always just wanting to do. By the way, where do I get the link? I need to share. I don't know how many people are on, but I want to get more people. Let's get more people.
I'll send it to you because we're revving it up now. So might as well. I can send you the link, so you can share it out.
Perfect. Thank you.
Let's see what we got here. We're going here. So I'm going to set up. So while we're sharing out the link, definitely if you're joining us, welcome. We are live on a few places. We're live on Facebook on both Niki Lopez Creative as well as Outclick Magazine, as well as the Circle 19's Facebook group. And we're live on Periscope and YouTube. So we have a couple people coming in. We have G saying greetings. We have Sylvia, hello, Nikki, and guest David. We also have someone from the Facebook group saying evening creative. So if you're commenting from the Facebook group, we can't see your name. So if you want me to mention that name, just put it in the text, feel free. So let's just dive into it, because I know you said you're an artist. How would you describe your journey, your creative journey? How did you start? What got you started? What put you on that path?
Oh my gosh, on my creative journey, I think it's this thing called birth. You familiar with you familiar with that? I don't even know where to start in terms of my creative journey, as like literally just being alive. And I in high school, I wanted to do creative things because I thought it would be something that got me attention. It wasn't so much altruistic at the time. So I guess as time has gone on, it's just become a different things in my life inspire me. So like I said, at one point, without question, it was just to get engaged with the people around me, wanting to be a social person. As life went on, I had a genuine love for music. So I did a lot of things in the music business. I was a disc jockey for years. I managed artists. I produced music. I helped write songs. I did so many different things as someone who just wanted to express themselves. So, different phases of my life led me to different things or different ways to express what life is. Like, that's really all. And then now today, as a grown up, as a dad and a granddad, I have different things that I want to do and to leave behind. I know, for example, I did this book in Jamaica called Pieces of Jamaica, and part of the inspiration for the book was just my love for my country of origin. So, like different things inspire me to do different things. Um, I'm sure we'll talk about it at some point later in the show. But we're
Mhm.
currently, forming and literally about to open this Caribbean museum. And again, why do that? It's just because it's so important. Like it doesn't exist before, and to share our combined cultures of the Caribbean, because so much to say there. I don't want to preempt it, but it's just
Mhm.
because it's just the right time in my life to express myself in that particular way. And so there is no reason for anything except what's inspiring in your life. Like day to day, different things motivate different expressions, and that's just what life living as an artist is. I'm always going to do what feels right at the right time.
Awesome, awesome. Absolutely. Totally agree with that. And we have a couple of comments. We have Trina Slade Burke saying, hello, fellow creatives. Yes, hello, hello. Yes, no more starving artists and a lot of wonderful creative things going on up at North in the West Palm Beach. We also have John said, we hired David to do a large group photo for SunServe about 2 years ago.
Right, I did do that, absolutely.
Well, let's jump into it because I know you. I don't even know why I need questions because you're like locked and loaded, ready to go.
I am always.
Let's dive into some of your work. So we are currently on um, David I Photos website, and I have the ticker right there, davidiphoto.com.
Nice.
And so these are just some of your images. And
Absolutely. So I see Jamaica and I see Cuba. So this is the thing. So when you're as lucky as I am, like I cannot tell you how blessed it is to be someone who wants to express themselves through images, and then to get the opportunity to travel, to then express those things even more. Like I've been fortunate. I've been to Africa, I've been to Asia, I've been to Europe, I've been to
mm,
South America, and all the time I get to just document things that I love. This is like showing life as it happens.
mhm,
So, all of these scenes are genuine things that are life happening naturally. None of these scenes were set up. This is not commercial photography
mhm,
work. This is just literally documenting culture. So things like the kids playing soccer in the park, or the guy in Cuba beating that rumba drum, or like the cricket matches, or even look at this, some carnival, festive stuff, the dance hall in Jamaica. All of these things are just things that are occurring naturally, and I'm fortunate enough to be there to actually just use my camera and tell the stories that I've seen happening live. Look at these guys over here on the left playing dominoes on the street corner. That's
mhm,
King. That's on King Street, downtown Jamaica, right by Parade. Like that's just wonderful. Like even some of these shots here, I'm seeing even right here in Florida. That's Lauderhill, where West Indies came to play cricket in Florida. Like
mhm.
so stuff like that. These guys playing, this is in Cuba again, but the guys playing the guitars in the park. And like this stuff is literally that it's just life, and to
Mhm,
be able to share culture in this way is just such a beautiful thing. I love it. It's like
mhm.
how could life be better?
Yeah. One of the things that I love, because, there's all types of art and photo art and photographers. And one of the things that, struck me, like there are artists, photo artists that they're in the studio, they set up, and I know you do
I
those type
do.
of photo services as well. But one of the things that I love that you said, documenting culture. Why is that important?
Well, it's important because culture, people is important. Let's even leave out culture first.
Mm-hmm.
I love people. Like that's what makes my life the richest is all the relationships that I have. So it could be my friends, it could be um, my family, it could be people who are just even acquaintances who I've met, who have shared moments. It could be so many different types of people. My family, it's like so people are just so rich and so colorful, and they give me so much. They give me the reason to be excited about life, and so to be able to see that occurring outside of my life,
Mm-hmm.
but in my plain view, to be able to then use my camera and make still moments of people's other people's moments. So like
Mm-hmm.
these people are enjoying life or they're doing things that are meaningful to them, and then for me to take the opportunity to use my perspective and show that to other people, that
Mm-hmm.
just feels so special. So that's why I love it so much. It's like I love the concept of being able to take what's just happening, as we would say, candidly in life, and then make a still moment of that
Mm-hmm.
occurrence and show other people, wow, look at how other people's lives are so interesting or
Mm-hmm.
so dynamic. And this is a story in just one frame. I
Mm-hmm.
love movies. I love them dearly, dearly. But I so also love just using one moment to say, look at this entire story in one image. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. Yeah.
And I know that when some people see your book, Pieces of Jamaica, they're just taken back to that space where they remember their childhood or the fish shop, different things like that. So it has it connects people in a very beautiful way to their culture or just other cultures, because I don't think you have to be from Jamaica specifically to
Mhm.
appreciate those images. It's just like universal.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So, the thing about like, and even just really doing Pieces of Jamaica was a whole lot of fun. But
Hmm.
then I got so much critique in the first maybe 2 to 3 years because so many people said, well, this is not how I see Jamaica, or this is not a true representation. And I keep telling people, listen, then, tell your stories. I have no issue, but my stories are what I see. It's true to me. And and I guess the more important part of it is like, can you enjoy it even if it isn't your story the way you would want to tell it? Can you see the story and say, wow, oh, this is interesting, this moves me in this particular way? A lot of the image in Jamaica actually, this sort of like it inspired me to do other work because I really had a hard time when I was in Jamaica documenting those images for that book, because I could not resolve in my mind why so many people felt they were unattractive. that
Mm,
was that was so deep to me, and it really it forced me to think of how to author more work that could help people to see the beauty in others. And you know what it ended up showing me, Nikki, is so funny. Like, just to think back about it, others could always see the beauty in someone else's image, but
mm-hmm.
when I showed them an image of themselves, they're like, no, that
Yeah.
don't look good. And I'm like, I did the same thing I did with the picture you love for you, and then you don't love yourself. And it was so painful. So I started documenting this series of portraits that was aimed at showing people how everyone is beautiful. I
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe that there's beauty in everybody, and it's just about having the right person to pull it out and to show it to you. And that became a very serious project of mine. Right after I finished the book, I spent a couple of years trying to author a series that helped show specifically more women, and definitely women of color, that they are just so absolutely beautiful, because that's how I see them. And it became something very meaningful to me. I was very happy to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we have a couple of comments. We have Marva saying, "Hey, David, love your artwork."
Thank you.
Then we also have filmmaker Kathleen Dean. David is an amazing ambassador of Jamaican culture. Through his art and life's work, he'll make you fall in love with Jamaica and the entire Caribbean.
Good add on there, Kat.
Yes. Um, oh, he said you may just fall in love with him too.
I hope so. I hope so.
Awesome, awesome. And then
That's funny.
we have a comment from G, said David was always has always loved our Jamaican culture. He's one of the first DJs to bring dance hall to Uptown back in the 80s. So crazy now to think that a part of Jamaican culture rejected dance hall and how he helped Uptown middle class embrace it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're going to go down that road, I mean, here's the thing. Absolutely, I accept that. Thank you so much for pointing it out, G. I don't much talk about, my time in music anymore. But yeah, it was great. It was wonderful to knock down a lot of doors. I remember specifically I used to play at a club in Kingston. As she has mentioned, an uptown club that's called Illusions. I used to play in that club, and in the DJ booth, they specifically had a rule on the glass, looking out the booth, that says no dancehall allowed. Like, you as a DJ, were not allowed to play dancehall. And I didn't care. I still played dancehall every night. I just disguised it well. I play it with calypso. I blend the beats. I do different things, make little remixes that would work. And so I still infused our music into the foreign music that I was allowed to play, because I wasn't allowed to play our own music from our own country, which is nuts.
But I think it's interesting because it kind of connects back to your work where you're saying where someone doesn't see their beauty and you're like pushing that boundary for
Hmm.
them to see their beauty, and you're just doing it in music form.
Absolutely. It's like literally story of my life. I'm always pushing my agenda, whatever that is. Usually it's about illuminating things that are beautiful in my eyes and others don't see it that way. But yeah, in every way, I mean, literally, it's been a part of my life mission to really show people, um, yeah, to show people where things are beautiful that they may not have noticed.
That's really awesome. And so let's jump into Island Syndicate. What is Island Syndicate if no one has ever heard about that?
Well, Island Syndicate never gets promoted, so no one should really know what is Island Syndicate.
Okay.
It's like, Island Syndicate. I don't think we've ever really put it out there in any meaningful way, except to corporations. Because Island Syndicate, again, we use this word, island, a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
Island Syndicate is our creative agency, and so what the creative agency does primarily is photography, video or cinematography, storytelling. So we write a lot of literature for corporations, and then we produce magazines also for a lot of people. We produce for a number of different tourist boards. We produce magazines for a couple of municipalities like the city of Lauderhill, the city of Miami Gardens, and we're currently working on 31 magazines for Broward County. We're doing something to cover the entire county. So we do projects like that. We've done projects for nonprofits, quite a few magazine projects as well for theater companies. We've done a lot of
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes, just as commercial work. So if you ask what's Island Syndicate, it's the my business partner's name is Khalib, and so it's the David and Khalib show, behind the scenes. So nobody ever really sees us, but we're doing work for whether it be a corporation, a nonprofit, or a municipality, to really show and highlight their best side so that the world can love them more. So it's a marketing type agency, and we have a lot of fun doing the work we do. It's creative work, but not being shared as art. It's more
Yeah.
shared as marketing.
Oh, awesome, awesome. And then we have someone else from the group saying good evening. We have on YouTube Tawanda Davis. Hello, guys, enjoying the conversation. Oh, Teapot.
Pause. Yeah, but
uh,
look at that. What's that? What do you call it? Is it an emoji or just her profile image? That's wild. I love it. Teapot.
yeah, she
Way to
has this
go,
great Black Lives Matter campaign.
bro,
These
bro.
great work.
Yeah.
And then we also have Michael. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Um, so, and I wanted to jump back a bit back into the photography a little bit because I know, as a photographer, some things probably have been impacted because of the pandemic. Um, have you done
Pandemic, boy.
Yeah. Have you shifted some of the work that you do or your photo work? Like, and how has that shift been?
Oh, a shift has been crazy. Why you bring that up? You want to see me cry? Are
Oh,
you
no.
Oprah?
I've been
Are
seeing
are
you do
are
these
you Oprah?
photo tips. No, no, no.
All right, no. So, all right, but on the real tip now, yeah. So I've shifted a lot. So I did, yeah, man. Greetings, brethren, to Michael as well. But Okay, so pandemic is essentially because I for commercial purposes, in other words, to be able to eat. As an artist, I also dabble in a lot of commercial work. As I was referencing Island Syndicate, we do a
Mhm.
lot of the commercial work. So again, photography wise, a lot of the work would be to do events, corporate events. I typically haven't shot weddings or birthday parties, but I do a lot of commercial events, and commercial events cease to exist as of March 13. So, having said that, we struggled for a little bit, but as they say, we pivot, we pivot. So, uh, okay, I also shoot a lot of concerts and do a lot of cultural activities. Those also cease to exist as of COVID, March 13 start date. And so, yeah, really everything ground to a halt.
Mhm.
So I started doing some social media posting, which helped a lot. So I, all my Tuesday tips and my throwback Thursdays and my all the different things I was doing actually yielded me a lot of new work that I
Mhm.
hadn't been doing for a lot of years. So I've been doing a lot of portraiture recently, which usually if I do portraiture, it's really for my own artistic expression, not as a business. But
Mhm.
it's been pretty good. I've got quite a bit of artistic portraits to shoot. And what's I think most funny about that for me was when I first started doing photography commercially, I thought I was going to do portraits as a business, but I realized that I wasn't getting a lot of that work initially.
Mhm.
I still did some, and then I ended up doing maybe more like I did a lot of attorneys for the lawyer websites. I even did some work for the Florida bar and entities like that that helped me to do what I really don't want to do, which is a very straight and narrow,
Mhm.
straight laced kind of narrow focus portraiture. But now I've been able to do a lot more fun portraiture. We're doing shoots on the beach. We're doing shoots at sunset. We're doing shoots in unusual places. I mean, I did a shoot last Thursday, and I didn't post my Tuesday tips today, but I want to actually post some of this because on Thursday I had a client that we had a 5 o'clock sunset shoot, and the client didn't show up till 8, and guess what happens? At 8 there is no more sun.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
so so we ended up doing a middle of the night type shoot, and the results were spectacular. I mean, it was like wildly popular with the client and with me. So sometimes it's good to get taken out of your comfort zone because I would have
Mhm.
never planned a shoot in the dark, and this was outdoors in the middle of nowhere because we were like trying to do this Everglades sunset shoot, and it just ended up that we ended up doing this pitch black middle of the night in the alligator swamp shoot where we heard the alligators like making their sounds and stuff. It was like harrowing, but it was fun, and we got great shots, and we all came out alive. And like, this is great. This is what wonderful to have that opportunity.
Awesome. And we have, let's see, a couple of more, some more comments. We have George Horton. Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah, George was on that shoot with me, so look at how
Oh,
life is funny. And I just mentioned that shoot. That was so cool.
yeah. Nori, my brother.
Yes.
We have someone from the group. Hi, guys. Great to hear more of your story, David. Thanks for sharing your creative energy and passion with the community in so many ways.
It's my pleasure. I love what I do. I love getting thanked, absolutely. But know for sure that what I do is because of me. I am so selfish. Even in giving, I'm selfish because I get so much pleasure from the work that I do. So
Mhm.
even though I do think of myself as an altruistic person who gives to others and helps others, I get the most pleasure from what I do. So it's very selfishly altruistic.
Mm-hmm. And we have Nore. She said, "I think I know the client."
Yeah. Tell that client that client needs to know how to get on time places.
We also have Jane Kreinberg. Greetings, David, Trish, and I love your work.
Yes, and I love you and Trish too, Jane. You guys are the bestest. And you know what? Every time I'm shooting a reggae concert, who is there? Jane and Trish. They go to all the local reggae shows. It's so much fun to see them. I can always get a good hug on when I'm at the reggae show because they're always there. They love good reggae music.
Yeah, either in the crowd dancing, or playing the drums. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they got their super comfortable chairs that they bring in. They're
Yeah.
very perched and looking like they're just having a great evening. No, Jane
Yeah.
and Trisha are two of the bestest for sure.
Absolutely. And we have Mark saying, great attitude. Some of the greatest art and inventions are germinated in the soil of the unintended.
Yes, Mark's also an artist, so I think he has a little idea what he's talking about. Go,
Mm-hmm.
Mark. Oh, Nikki, you need to get Mark on the show one of these days. Mark, you need to link with Nikki so she can interview you on the circle.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Always looking for creatives, in particular creatives that are doing, advocacy, giving back, doing things for the community, pushing, positive things forward. So absolutely. Always great to have referrals. So yeah, send me a message and we'll figure it out.
Cool.
So,
I like that.
so jumping into island space. Can we jump
I,
into that for a while? Because that's like
I
the latest.
That's the latest and greatest. That takes all my time. Oh my gosh, I've spent so much time on this museum project. So island space is a lot more. So island. How do I even remember all of it? Society for all kinds of things. Anyway, no, but for real, for real. Island Space is a Florida nonprofit nonprofit organization that is created for and is dedicated to raising awareness in the field of art and culture for the Caribbean. And part of why island space is so precious is that island space is really about celebrating all the countries of the Caribbean, whether it be an island or a mainland country of the Caribbean. So, for
Mhm.
example, we include the likes of Belize, the likes of Guyana, which are on mainland Central America and on mainland South America as part of our Caribbean. We include the Bahamas as part of our Caribbean, even though they're in the Atlantic. So, we're the very expanded Caribbean view. We're not just looking at, Haiti, Jamaica, Cuba, Cayman, or Aruba, Trinidad, Leeward Islands, Windward Islands, and so on. We're inclusive. We're including everybody. We're just a totally inclusive Caribbean concept.
Mhm.
Having said that, the key to what it is that we're doing is we're embracing. So I'm just going to give a little plug to two other projects. One is we have a magazine called Island Origins, and we
Mhm.
also have a television show originated by my business partner Khalif called Taste the Islands. Again, Taste the Islands, Island Origins as a TV show and a magazine, and now the nonprofit Island Space.
Mhm.
Definitely, if you if you haven't yet been, check out the Island Space website. It's islandspacefl.org. Please don't type in .com; it will not get you there. It's the .org. So islandspacefl.org. Learn about what we're doing, but particularly what we have so many projects and so much important work that we're doing. And let me take the time right now to say, if you're a photographer, we have a photography project we're working on, and we're looking for images. So please go on there, take a look at the artist call for photography. I'm a photographer, and I'm trying to celebrate some other photographers in a major way. So if you have any interest in being highlighted as a photography artist, please go check out this site, so we can get images from you. But to the more important and the more current project that's immediate is our Island Space Caribbean Museum.
Mhm.
Ah, tell me what you want me to talk about with that, because there's so many angles, so much to
Well, I'd
share.
love to know, since we're talking in storytelling, like, how did it start? Like, what made you
Oh,
go into that
please,
direction?
that's great. Okay, so I didn't even mention this part yet. So we have an annual food festival called Taste the Islands Experience, and
Which is
so
amazing. I've been to a few of them.
thank you, thank you. So Taste the Islands Experience as a food festival celebrating all the food of the Caribbean. We started looking for ways to expand the experience for the guests. That is not just coming and eating a whole lot of food and going home fat. I mean, sorry, and going home totally sated and happy from the great food. but we try to expand the experience. And as a result of that, we included what we call our island culinary museum, I think is what we call it.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a culinary museum as a small part of the food festival. And actually, one of our great partners, Eddie Edwards, who runs the Jamaica Jerk Festival, he was at our food festival, and he says he loved this culinary museum that we did, and would be so kind to bring it to his festival.
Mm.
So later that year, I think that was 2018. Yeah, 2018, we took the Culinary Museum to be a part of the Jerk Festival. And that inspired, oh, I hear the cat saying hi. Hi,
Yeah, she
cat.
always
She's
trying to
saying,
steal my shine.
I want to be on camera too. Um, yeah, so we were at the Jerk Festival. It did very well. We had a lot of people come by. People wanted to touch the stuff, pick it up, tell their children, "Oh man, mommy used to use this when I lived back in Guyana, or daddy used to use this. Oh, look at this item here. This is what I used to iron my clothes with back in Trinidad, or whatever was going on." It was so exciting, and people enjoyed it. So we expanded the idea the following year. So for the year 2019, starting February, we took it on a traveling tour. So we went to Lauderhill, Tamarack, Pompano, Fort Lauderdale, Miramar, Plantation, and I'm probably going to forget them all. But we did 12 months of exhibitions with the Culinary Museum by touring Broward County on a grant that we got through the Community Foundation of Broward. And of course, thank you to everyone who has helped us with grants, sponsorships, funds, etc. But that culinary museum that we toured for 12 months until January of 2020, believe it or not, I can't even believe we're still in 2020. It was so successful.
It's so
And
funny.
it's like this year can't end.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so it went really well. And the response was overwhelming. I think we officially have on record about 40,000 people that visited the touring museum.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's what we could count because a lot of the places we went to didn't have accurate counts, so it could even be 100,000. We only know about, I think officially it was like 37,000 something that we could document for. But it went so well, and we had been talking about the possibility of doing a museum, but it wasn't really something we thought was going to happen anytime soon. It was, maybe a 5 year plan,
Mm-hmm.
um, 10 years maybe to raise the funds to build a space. But the pandemic came, and with the pause in some of the other work, we got to really get to spend more time planning for how we would execute the museum. And I've been, really trying hard. Some people would call it pestering. I was trying hard to connect with the people who would allow us to use some of their space to host the museum. And we actually got a commitment from a city that we didn't end up in yet, who to give us space, and that was like going to be about 2 to 3 years away from now. So we were thinking, okay, well, we have the venue where we'll have the museum, but it's going to be about 2 to 3 years. But I still, kept trying to find a location that would work. And then finally, we got approved to have this wonderful space in the Broward Mall, or it's called the Westfield Broward Mall. It's right there at the corner of University Boulevard and Broward Boulevard, central Broward County, central of South Florida. So it's in between Palm Beach and Miami. And it's really dead center in the county. And it's like the perfect area. And it's a great mall that's well maintained and so on. Lots of parking. Everything about it made it like this is unbelievable that we got this space. And even though we had set our marker at a minimum of 3,000 square feet to open, the space we ended up getting has 5,500 square feet. So
Wow.
yeah, so that was some pretty awesome stuff. So once we got approved to get the space, then it was like, well, can we make it happen? Can we rock it out for 2020? And that's what we've been working on. So we're definitely going to open sometime, soft opening, small, sometime in 2020, and definitely a big grand splash when COVID is relaxed itself in 2021. So
Mhm.
there's a lot coming, a lot coming.
Awesome. And we have a couple of comments. We have G saying, love that this is unifying the Caribbean community. And also that it's in such a central location. Um,
Definitely.
we do have someone on the circle saying, hey, you two. So, hey, whoever, whoever you
Hey,
are,
hey, you won? No, I don't know.
we're going to ignore that comment that the cat is not up for adoption. So, um, why do you think a space like that? Because it's basically the first Caribbean museum. It's the first of its kind. Why do you feel some museum like this is needed, and why now?
Well, it's been needed for 200 years. Like, now it's just about time. Goodness gracious. But the reason when you say why, there's so many reasons why. Like the first thing I think G just made a comment about unifying the Caribbean. I look out for the next issue of Island Origins magazine because you if you read that you'll see that there's a whole multitude of the answers for what are the reasons. I know G's story in that magazine is going to be very illuminating for that answer. Likewise, I think Khalib's article does the same, and there are about four other articles in there that are all about why it's so important to unify us right now. My point is this: I was born in Jamaica. I grew up in Jamaica. I always knew as a part of the Caribbean. I never had a concept of the Caribbean, except that I knew we were a part of it. I didn't go as a youngster to Cuba. I didn't go as a youngster to Haiti. I've been now as an adult, but I never really had a realistic understanding of the Caribbean. I didn't go to Barbados. I've been now as an adult. But growing up, I was just Jamaican. Sure, we're part of the Caribbean, but there was no unity.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that once you leave Jamaica and you live outside, or even you leave any country in the Caribbean, you live outside those islands. In America, I want to feel like I belong. I want to feel like I'm a part of something. And being Caribbean allows me to be a part of something very big.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm just Jamaican, it's not as inclusive as being Caribbean. And then we have so many things in common. We have so many traditions that are the same, so much experiences, whether it be through colonization or be through emancipation or through independence, that even though they happened in different ways, they're all unifying as people of different cultures who have come together in this particular way in an island nation surrounded by water or surrounded by certain types of traditions that unify us in this very special way. And I think that without question, that's one of the reasons why it's super important. For example, my children, my grandchild, I only have one grand so far, but he was two on Saturday, so he's now officially 2 years old. And for him, what is his understanding of the legacy of his forefathers? Um, how do we celebrate that? How do we even educate in a country like this that has South Florida? 1 in 4 people in South Florida are born in the Caribbean, not from the Caribbean, born in the Caribbean. That's a 2010 census. When a 2020 census is done, is it going to be 1 in 3, 1 in 2 of us born in the Caribbean? If a quarter of the people who live in South Florida are born in the Caribbean, why now? I mean, this is so long overdue. We have nothing
Absolutely.
in America or nothing really anywhere in the world that celebrates the Caribbean people as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, in Jamaica, you could go to a Jamaica museum, and in some other country, you can go to there, but there's nothing that shows how we're all unified. What
Mm-hmm.
are the similarities? How is it that the people from Europe came and the people from Africa came to these islands, and who were the original people? Who are the ancestors of these islands? Like, where's their story? That's why we have to do this. We have to share everybody's story, all the indigenous people. There's some amazing things I've learned just in working on this project about just the original people in places like Dominica. Dominica still has thriving people that were original, authentic people who were there that survived the Europeans, that survived everything that happened since, and still are there today. How would we know these things if we don't have a place that educates? So do understand that yes, it's a museum and all of these things, but it's a place of learning. It's a place of sharing vital information about our history and our culture and our heritage and celebrating who we are. We're going to have
Mhm.
all of our stars celebrated, whether you are from a Hispanic nation or from a Dutch speaking nation or from a French speaking nation or from an English speaking nation. All these people make up the Caribbean, and it's always going to be important to see how these people became who they were, how they've transitioned through the ages, and how we still have these unified things that make us all Caribbean. So I
Mhm.
could talk about this forever. I could.
Absolutely. We have
It's
Mark saying much more in common than there is divergent.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Mark is from Barbados.
Mhm.
Kwan. We love all of our Caribbean
I
people,
think
man.
it's
This
really great that, South Florida, a lot of times people connected only to the Latin community. And even though there's a large Afro Latina community, um, the Caribbean people are not really as recognized, even though there was somewhere I read where it said, it was the Bahamians that built up Miami, and there's a large,
and most of Fort Lauderdale, the Bahamians definitely were a huge part of the beginnings of Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, absolutely. We have Michael. He said, I'm on the Island Space website now. Amazing. Loving my culture showcase in the digital creative ecosystem. Great work, David. Muir and Company. Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So one point of clarification, since I saw that comment, Island Space is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It is not David Muir's entity, nor is it anyone else's. This is all of ours. If you're watching this right now, this is yours. We take no ownership. I'm currently the chairman of the board. When the board votes me out, somebody else will be the chairman. I will have no further responsibility for anything. So I happen to hold a seat right now that it will not be in perpetuity. I promise. I know I can't do it. I mean, oh my gosh, should I even say it out loud? Like I've been banned from joining other boards. Like I'm too involved in too many things. I have been told definitively no more projects until these are all sort of done. So at some point we need to replace David with Mark or any one of the people who are commenting and say you could be the next chairman of the board. Get involved, volunteer, help us to raise funds, help us to gain artifacts, help us with the intellectual process. Like we need to accurately tell all the stories, and there are people who have access to people with the truth. We don't want the Europeanized versions of the stories of the Caribbean. We want it from everybody's perspective. We want the African perspective, the Indian perspective. We want the Asian perspective, whether it be the Chinese who came in, indentured servants or whatever. We want all the different
Absolutely.
flavors accounted for from Hispanics, from English, from Haitians, French, from the Dutch, all sides. We don't want it to have any one story. And so, if you feel at any point I'm not doing a good job, come and replace me. I look forward when I'm old and to say I was a part of the beginning, but I remember when Debbie took it over and she was the president and she helped to grow it to so we could get into that $400 million building that we're going to build.
Yeah.
Like absolutely, like this is not a commercial enterprise. This is for the people by the people. This is not about David at all.
Absolutely. And we have T Pop saying, preach, brother, and politics in your future.
No, no, not at all. I refuse all opportunities for politics. No, thank
Yeah.
you.
We also have Marx, and Africans were in the Caribbean, Central, and South America since the first millennia AD. Absolutely.
I,
Um,
I, yes,
and then he has also had the Olmecs, and I actually have an art piece named the Olmecs because people always feel slavery is where Africans got to America, and the Olmecs are the father of Mayan and Aztec civilization. So he said West African origin are the civilization that birthed the Toltecs, Aztec, Mayans. Absolutely.
that's what we want. We want the accurate history. So bring the info. Let's bring it forth and let's make sure it's shared properly. So
Hmm.
absolutely. I do want to say though before we it does take a village. Absolutely. Thanks so much. And I believe that was Diane, even though it says
Yeah,
Pat.
passive transformation
Okay.
plan on
Yeah.
YouTube.
So, Diane, thanks for watching. Listen, I really want to say, people, we need a couple of things. And I know Nikki's interview is going to be spectacular and getting everything out of me. But I do want to say, we definitely, so if you look at the website, please note that we need artifacts. So if your granny or your uncle or your brother from another mother, whatever it is that you got in terms of things that need to be shown. So, for example, if you're good friends with Usain Bolt and you know that he wants to donate a pair of his shoes that he won a gold medal at the Olympics, that will help us to bring people to see, parts of our history. If you are good friends with the Marley family and you happen to know you can get a guitar, old guitar from Bob Marley, we're happily accept these types of items. If it is
I
that
know
it's
somebody that may know both of them. I don't know if they're still in contact, but
but my point is, and
hmm
those are the superstars. It
hmm
don't need to be a superstar. It could be just your uncle or your uncle, uncle's uncle who served in a war and they have a medal that he won or a uniform that he wore or he was in the navy or he was in the whatever it was and they have some memento that could be donated to be a part of showing the excellence of the Caribbean. We're happy, 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 happy. It could be somebody who's a family member of Marcus Garvey or of any. I mean, there's so many. I mean, great, great people from the Caribbean. Like we'll be happy to take art items from anybody. It doesn't matter your status. Once it represents things that were great that were done by people of the Caribbean, we want it in the museum. So please, if you look on the website, there's a great opportunity to donate items. There's
yeah.
also the opportunity to donate money, but the
Mhm.
items are and the money are both important.
And we have Mark saying, I just mentioned that book just the other day, that They Came Before Columbus by Ivan Van Sertima.
Yeah.
And Michael saying, big up, bless, and Kathleen saying, great book. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe you guys want to donate a copy of the book to the museum. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one. And we did have the little ticker with the website islandspacefl.org. And also, well, I guess talking about fundraising and things that you need, what are some, because you mentioned about the items, but also funding is also very important. So can we
It
talk?
really is.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is where I've got to tell everyone who's watching, please just share, hit the share button, because if I'm going to talk about raising money, if you guys want to each give 10,000 each, and we want to split it up, share it so other people can hear the message, and then we can each just give like $50, and it'll be get us to the same goal. So our goal right now, we've raised so far, and I don't want to say the wrong number, but I believe to date we've raised close to about 200,000.
Mm,
And again, I don't want to say wrong because I don't handle the money at all. That's another set of people. We have our financial people who are part of the board. But I know for sure that in the past year plus that we've been building to this, we've definitely raised money. But as the ticker tape is showing, we started a GoFundMe a couple of days ago because we need another $50,000 raised by October 1st, and that's very ambitious. That's 3 weeks away. But
mm.
we want to raise 50,000, and we believe if we get 1,000 people to give $50 each, that'll get us there. But even easier if we get, let's just say I'm going to just go conservative. If we get people to give $10 each, then all we need to get to that number is 5,000 people.
Mhm.
And so if we can get 5,000 people, now this is Facebook and this is, where else is it showing? This is on IG. Where are you showing this, Nikki? Is it on
It's
YouTube?
YouTube. We're
Is,
live on YouTube right now. We're on Facebook. We're on Periscope.
then it should be absolutely nothing for us to get
Mhm.
5,000 people giving $10 each. So let's do it. Let's
Absolutely.
go to islandspacefl.org, GoFundMe, and give a minimum of $10. If everybody who sees this video gives $10 before the end of the month, we're gonna get the money. So let's all give a minimum. If you have 25, I'll take it. If you
Mhm.
can afford 50, even better. But if everyone watching just commits to $10 right now, even if you gave before, because I know a lot of my people watching have already given, and we appreciate it. But I'm asking you for $10 more. If you can give us $10 more right now, um, that would be spectacular. So please, before it's 9:20, by 10 o'clock, if everybody who watches this can give $10, so 10 by 10, $10 by 10 o'clock, and be sure to click the option that shares that I gave, so that it will come on your hi Jasmine, so that it will come on your Facebook page or your social media that you gave $10. It will inspire other people to give their $10 too,
Mhm.
right? Or you can just make it just make it 20. I don't know. Maybe I'm greedy. If you can give 20, give 20. I appreciate it.
I'm very honored that me and my son Marley are part of the founding
Yes,
founders. I made sure to
absolutely.
jump in on that. I was like, wait, no, I want his name on that too.
That was exceptional, and I think you guys did even more than the minimum, which was even
Yeah.
amazing because we started founding funders campaign, which we didn't even have a GoFundMe. It was just literally David texting his friends and saying, "Give $25 and you're going to be a founding funder." So I really thank everyone who gave before. It's exceptional that you did, and like I said, even if you gave us before 25, woo, I like this. You're
Yeah,
gonna give 200,000 G? Wow, that's amazing. Gee, I didn't even
doing
know.
$20 a month, so going a long way.
No, definitely
And we
awesome.
have count us in, David. Absolutely. Kat is saying, where do I send my $10?
You go to the GoFundMe page, which you can get to pretty easy. It's islandspacefl.org. So islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe. It's all there. It is. It's on Niki's ticker tape at the bottom of the screen. It says islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
And I really do hope everyone is motivated to contribute because this is really important. There hasn't been something like this ever. And like, you've said, many people said this is unifying so many people. My background, we're Panama, Cuba, and Jamaica. So I'm just like, I got to represent
And,
all those.
and that's all Caribbean, all of that. So you Caribbean 100%, even though you got one third some
Thank
other
you.
stuff.
Thank you. 100%, because I know some
One
people on this
hundred
call need
percent.
to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. No, Panama is our brothers and sisters, man. That's a lot of Jamaicans went to Panama to
Yeah.
build that canal.
And
Absolutely.
that's the thing. I have a Cuban grandparent a Cuban grandparent that went to Jamaica. That's where the Lopez side from my dad's side, and
They're still there. I see. I met a lot of you people in Jamaica.
yeah,
Them
and then we
Lopez is
have
them.
oh yeah, right. And then we have the Jamaicans. I have a great grandfather who is Jamaican that went to Panama when they were building the canal or something and stayed there, and so that's how we get the Panama and some other places in the equation. So absolutely. We have T Pop saying got it. We have Michael saying great. I'll definitely donate before the end of the month. Nori.
Month, 10 p.m. No, I'm not saying. We'll take it before the end of the month.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's just been such a pleasure. You were on. You're probably one of my. I wouldn't say one of the first guests, but I've been doing the circle since January 2018, and I've had you on in 2018. But I felt like it's great to have you back and share all these amazing things that you're doing and see the growth and so that's
Definitely,
wonderful.
thank you. And I got to give you props too because my very first art exhibition ever was one of your shows. Like we did your, it wasn't What's Your Elephant yet. What was it called back then? It was something else.
There were different ones. I think it was Space Love. Some
Yes, that was it. It was like Space Love Art,
yeah.
something like that. Yeah, that was my very first art exhibition ever, and
Mhm.
it was one of Niki Lopez's art exhibitions. And I mean, look at me now.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so no, that was awesome. Like, oh my goodness, so much craziness have happened since then. But
Yeah,
definitely gotta shout you out. You certainly
thank
are
you.
someone who helps other artists, is very inclusive in the work that you do, and that's tremendous to me. Like that type of, I didn't even know that I was ready to be in an art exhibition. I never even considered myself visually as an artist in that realm yet at that time, And it was at that show that I did with you. That's now that's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That then it was like, oh my goodness, and the reaction of the people to the work that I had in the show that told me, yeah, you are ready. Let's It's time to forge forward. So it was, to talk about things in perfect time, and just like this
Mhm.
museum, meeting you at that time and being invited and being able to participate in your show was the perfect timing, and that has helped catapult me to where I am today. And
Mhm.
so you can take credit for this museum, because if it wasn't for you, I would have never did all the things that led me up to this point. So
You
this is
heard it right here.
your museum, Nikki. You own it.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. But yeah, I think it's great to when we're giving opportunities to share it as much as we can with other people. Someone shared space with me, so I like to just pay it forward and share space. And you never know, because all these opportunities are important, and then you know where you're at now compared to just then, it's just like you took that and you just ran with it, and it's just great to see that.
Definitely. Oh yeah, and I certainly take your example. I've been sharing with everybody I can. Anytime I can help another artist, every time I can do something that makes somebody else get lifted up, I'm there. So again, thanks for setting that example and for helping me to realize where I've gone as an artist. Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So what do you do for downtime? Because you have all these things going on. You must have some downtime.
Not really.
That's why you can't
uh,
have any more boards.
um, no, I guess if I do have downtime, I don't know. I don't really have a lot of downtime, but my downtime is, I guess doing stuff with my lady. Like we watch some movies and stuff, and um, for those who don't know, my lady's on the watching the one who said she may have fallen in love with a Jamaican guy. But so Kathleen and I mean, I guess we actually sometimes we cook and have people over,
Mhm.
so that's a good fun thing
Good
to do.
food. Yeah.
Yeah, so food vibes. But traveling, I mean, the thing is, every time I travel, I feel like it's work, because I feel like I have to document stuff anyway.
Mhm.
So even though it's kind of fun and work at the same time, but Nikki, to be honest with you, when you say downtime, I love everything that I do. So
Yeah.
how do I get downtime from that? I mean, my downtime is when I'm asleep, which is a couple hours every night. I can't do too much of that,
Hmm.
but yeah, because we have stuff we want to accomplish, and
Yeah.
I have the energy now, so I'm gonna do it now. When the energy runs out, then I'll do the other stuff, whatever that is gonna be.
Crochet. Some new.
Maybe, who knows? As long as I have energy, it won't be the knitting. Maybe when I run out of the energy, yeah, maybe the knitting will come next.
Awesome. And we have Mark. Wow. Donating
Woo!
$50 feels great. We can do this upward and onward, mighty people. That's awesome. That's amazing. Yeah.
Way to go. Great example. I want everyone to take note that they should outmatch Mark, and don't let those Bajans show off like they got all the money. Don't let those Barbadian and Barbarian, the Barbadian, the Bajan. Don't let them outshine you, people. Let's go
Show
get
that
us
Caribbean pride.
get
You
a
gotta one up.
55 in there. No, we accept anything that you can get. But thanks so much, Mark, and to everyone else who is giving but doesn't want to show off and tell everyone how much they gave. It's okay if you give 100. Actually, this is a fun story to tell, because the first time I asked for money, when we tried to raise money to start this whole project off, and I asked everyone for 25 bucks. And you realize sometimes you ask for too little, because when I asked for 25, somebody gave 1,000, and a
Mm,
couple people gave 500. I was like, oh my god! Imagine if I'd asked for 1,000, maybe he'd have given me 10,000.
yeah. Yeah.
But no, we're appreciative of everyone. I mean, the fact that you give, no one knows how each person makes their money, how hard it is to work and earn that, and you earn it for yourself, for your family, for so on. So to ask you to give it up for something like this, I know is not an easy ask. I don't like asking anybody for money, and if I didn't put my heart and soul in this as well as with my money, I wouldn't ask. But I can tell you, I've given a lot. I'm giving a whole lot, so I don't feel so bad asking others to contribute as well.
Yes, G, you did. You did.
You did. Not you, very clearly. You showed off
I'm
your
on
month,
auto pay.
your auto pay, monthly auto pay. We noticed that. Hello.
Beijing massive show up.
That's right. All the other Bajans, let it rain, baby. I love that. Thanks, Mark.
And T-pop saying creatives have no downtime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real. It's so real. Like I laugh at the concept. Like a lot of people are like, David, you never rest. I'm like, I can't really deny that. Because
Mhm,
that's the thing. When you have a passion for what you're doing, like
mhm,
why are you gonna stop doing it? Like it's
mhm.
it's it's I pop out to the bed early in the morning, early before 5, and I'm at my desk getting work done, and I'm on the road hustling out there because yeah, I got work to do. I got to create and I got
Yeah,
to
we're
share.
setting up, and you're like, "Oh, I'm on Zoom in this air. I got you in that air."
It's the truth. I was literally multitasking the whole like. Okay, I was finishing a marketing meeting while waiting to start this, and that's this life. But it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, where's the best way to? What's the best way to reach you if someone's trying to get in touch for any of the many
I
things that you do?
I tell you what, to get in touch with me personally, the best way is to reach me on WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is, without question, the easiest way. So my cell number, I don't know if you want to put it on the screen or not, but my cell number is 954-200-5110. So 954-200-5110. You can WhatsApp me on that number. That way, anywhere I am, if I'm out of the country, I can get it. Yeah, that's my cell phone. That's the best way to reach me. But I'm also happy to answer DMs on Instagram. My IG is at David I. Muir, as it is on the screen under my picture. David I. Muir, just all together with the at sign on IG. That works very well for the younger folks who don't really text. They
Yeah.
want to DM. So if you want to DM me on IG, that works. Don't DM me on Facebook. I cannot stand Facebook Messenger. It is like it is the worst. So I don't want any messages there. And if you message me there, likely I will never see it because I don't have Facebook Messenger on my phone. I refuse it, and so it'll never make it to me. Um, but otherwise, you can go on my website. You can go on islandspacefl.org. You can email to give@islandspacefl.org, or you could email to support@islandsyndicate.com. Um, those are good emails that will definitely get to me, quickly enough. So if you're an email person, probably the best one is support@islandsyndicate.com. Um, but yeah, my cell phone, which Nikki ran on the screen, easiest way to reach me, just send me a WhatsApp. That's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If you had access to a time machine, where would you go, past or the future, and why?
Definitely the future. I've seen the past. It's wonderful, and as much as I've enjoyed the past, I don't need to relive it. I've already done it. I would be going into the future. I want to see what it looks like a couple of years from now. I want to see what happens with the museum. I want to see my grandchild grow up and get married. I want to see my sons in their lives. So if I could go, I would want to go in the future and take a peek at what happens with all of the stuff that I'm doing. Hey, what happens after I'm passed? What's going on in the future? So I would want the future, and I would go recent future. I wouldn't be going to like 200 years from now. I would maybe want to go, maybe 75 years from now, when I definitely wouldn't be alive, to see what happens with my family members and what happens with this museum project that we're producing right now, because it needs to go on forever. This is not about the current generation. We were having a conversation, Khalib and I, just today about some gifts that we were getting. People were giving us CDs, and we were like, well, CDs, that's not historical, but 75 years from now, people be like, look, imagine they use these things. Look at these shiny discs. So I think we have to collect everything and store it and really, um, make that work.
G said more grandkids in 2095.
Yeah, actually, 75 years from now, that would be a whole bunch of grandkids, whole heap of additional, grandnephews and nieces and things of that sort, right? So, no,
Yes.
I would love to see what's going on in the future.
Yes, yes. Well, David, it was a pleasure talking with you to hear about all the wonderful things you got going on. I can't wait to get into that museum.
Me too.
Um, yeah, I'm just really honored to be one of the founding funders.
Yes, you are.
So, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks
Uh,
for having us. The truth is, Nikki, that again, more power to you because without platforms like this, how do we get the message out? And we're at least $50 better off
yeah,
financially. I
yeah.
mean, so hey, that was awesome. And thanks to everyone who gave and didn't tell. And thanks to G and to Mark who told.
Absolutely. And Michael, he said the end of the month, so we're gonna set a
And
reminder.
Michael, see, that's why I need to go into the future so I can see all the people who gave in the future. No, perfect. No,
Absolutely.
you guys rock out. Thank you, and be sure to share it before it ends. Share so other people can watch.
Yes, absolutely. Founding funders in the house, absolutely. So, for all, let me see. There's a bigger. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
So, for those who are online live with us, I know we went over, but we figured we probably would go over.
I thought so.
Um, and it was great. I said, hey, the energy's there, people engaged. We're going to keep rocking out. I really appreciate everyone who's on the call, all the comments, the people who have shared. Thank you so much. If you haven't shared, please share this video. Someone wants to be inspired. Someone wants to donate to Island Space. Someone wants to hear about that museum. And you could be the catalyst for that. So, if you enjoy this program is brought to you by Niki Lopez Creative and What's Your Elephant. What's Your Elephant uses the arts to create a safe space to talk about everything unspoken. So if you want to get more information and support that cause, my cause, what'syourelephant.org. You could also go to Linktree/Niki Lopez 19 for a bunch of my links. We are here every Tuesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. For those who are going to watch on the replay, thank you so much. Any final words?
Ah,
Thank you. Thank you.
final words. Yeah, listen. I think the beauty of these types of opportunities and this type of platform is, at the end of the day, making more connections. I don't know how much people can really ever get from me how important it is that we connect. I love people. I really get all my energy from people. So thank you all who've been on a part of this, and thank you for sharing. Thank you for giving your time. We appreciate your time that you stayed with us watching this video. And I just love people, and thank you for being people and for sharing your space with me. That's really what I would like to say.
Mm, mm. That is a great note to end. And I will say good night, everyone. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Bye.
Join our next Tuesday, every Tuesday on The Circle.